Hey everybody, today we're going to cause some trouble, which is what we do here at The Wealthy Idiots. Or was it supposed to be financial education? Should change the name of the show to like AJ's Stir the Pot segment, AJ's Causing Trouble Corner, or how about like Getting into Mischief with Money? Recently, I made a comment on a reaction to a Dave Ramsey video. My best friend Dave Ramsey, very clearly best friends. I said that I'd be interested to see his millionaire study if you didn't count homes inside of the net worth of the millionaires that he's studying. And I have a reason for that, and I thought I stated it clearly at the time. Then I received tons of hate mail. The people in the comment section made valid points. Things that I think we gotta cover. So we're gonna make an episode today to answer the question whether or not your home is a liability or an asset. Now, obviously your home's an asset. If you remember what we talked about the definition of net worth, and one of my commenters pointed it out, it's you take the things that you can sell for money, you subtract the debts that you have, and that's your net worth. Making your home something you can sell for money, pretty significant good chunk of money, that by definition would be an asset. So then why do so many heavy-hitting financial gurus such as Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, AJ Sheff, thought I'd try to slide that one in there on you guys. How come these guys keep saying that the term your home is not an asset or your home is a liability? What is it that they're trying to get across, and why is that important to us? So in the simplest way possible, I'm going to answer that question by saying you can't really include your home when trying to figure out what your retirement plan looks like. The reason being is that your home is not something that you can get money out of, no matter what it's worth. You're kind of stuck. So I'm going to present a few examples for you so that you can see what it is that we're talking about, and maybe it'll help you understand why it is that we're saying your home can't really be counted in your retirement. I'm not going to say that your home is not an asset. Definitionally, it's an asset, but I am going to point out why it's important to differentiate between your home being an asset and what it is that we're planning in terms of financial independence. Now, retirement is basically just the time in your life when you've already reached financial independence and you just are planning not to work anymore, or you're planning on working on things that don't require as much or any income at all. So things like charity work for your church or for the community, or maybe you want to start your own thing, or maybe you want to spend your time with your grandkids or travel around the world. That's what we generally refer to as retirement. The key being the financial independence portion. We have to reach a state of financial independence in order to get to a retirement stage. And what Dave Ramsey is trying to get across when he says pay off your home is he's trying to say that getting to that state of financial independence becomes a lot easier. Let's get into the examples so that we can break this down, and maybe this will be more clear. All right, so first up we have Hildegard. She goes by Hildy. Second, we have our good friend and awesome buddy, Brosif. And lastly, we have probably our best friend, Cookie, the goodest boy ever. These three people all own homes. So we're gonna go through them individually, and you can see the different kind of scenarios that I'm presenting here. So let's take a look at the homes that these three people own. Hildy owns a $1 million home somewhere probably in California, because that's where you're gonna find homes that are $1 million. This home is actually really pretty. We should probably make a cover photo for a show out of it. Our good buddy Brosif, he owns a home out in the middle of nowhere, and it was kind of built by him and his buddies, and it does look pretty cute, but it's kind of tiny. We're gonna say its value is worth about $20,000. And lastly, Cookie, who is just balling on Instagram with posting all of his photos, has a home for $5 million. We don't really know where this home is. It is just fancy. I'm gonna guess it's probably somewhere with a lot of dog parks. So let's start to break down what these people's financial situations look like with these homes so that you can see how this works. So we'll take Hildegard. Hildegard has no mortgage on her home. Her repairs are estimated at roughly 2% of the worth annually, so we're going to say $20,000. Insurance is estimated around $5,000, and taxes are estimated around $10,000. These are all numbers that I pulled from real examples off the internet, and I attempted to try and average them across the country. So in your area, some of these numbers might be cheaper, and in areas like where I live, they're probably going to be more expensive. That puts her yearly cost for this home at $35,000. So even though she has her home paid off and she has no mortgage on the home, it still is costing her $35,000 yearly to live in this property. Now that's not too bad. It's probably a lot less than if she had a mortgage. Now let's take a look at Broseph. Broseph built this home with him and his buddies, so he has no mortgage either. His repairs are about $400 a year, his insurance is about $100, and his taxes are about $200. Just took the same kind of averages and just figured what would it be for a $20,000 home. His yearly cost ends up being $700. So obviously, Broseph isn't doing too bad with this property. He has a lot less yearly costs in order to maintain living there. And lastly, Cookie, he's a fancy boy. Cookie has a mortgage on his home, and he's paying about $200,000 a year on the mortgage annually. He still has quite a few years left to pay this off. His repairs yearly are about $100,000, his insurance is $25,000, and taxes are $50,000, giving him a yearly cost to live at this property of $375,000. So what I was attempting to highlight in the previous episode, in the comments when I was replying, and now, is that regardless of the home that you have is costing you money. Yeah, it's worth money, but it's still costing you money in order to continue living in that property. It doesn't matter if it's a home that's paid off. It doesn't matter if you're renting. It doesn't matter if it's a home that's not paid off. At the end of the day, your home is always going to cost you money. Now, sure, Broseph could move, but what are the chances of him being able to find a property that's $20,000? Probably not too high. If we consider that most of America's homes are worth about $400,000, that's the average home price in America right now, if you were to get up and move, your chances of moving into a property that's equal at the same $400,000 is pretty high. Not only that, but you have to pay closing costs whenever you're selling a property. So you're not going to get the full $400,000, and you're going to have to find an extra 10%-ish or so when you go buy your next average home for $400,000. So regardless of the value of the home, if you're moving from one to something similar at the same price, you're actually losing money. So you can't get money simply by moving in most cases. Granted, the people in like the Bay Area in California could probably move out of their home and move into something in like Idaho and probably bank quite a bit of money off of that. But most people can't do that. So that takes that out. The second is debt. We've already established that we don't want to start increasing our debt. That's the whole point of this Dave Ramsey method, is that you want to get the debt paid off. So taking out new debt against your home isn't another way to get the money out. And the last way you could try and get money out of your home is by moving out and then renting that property, but you still have to go buy a house somewhere else. And if you're going to rent the property, you'd have to have enough cash to go buy another property in another location, or take out a loan, which puts you back out at ground zero. It's difficult to say that your home is actually an asset, because even though you could sell it for money and technically it fits in the asset category, when it comes to retiring, how do you actually use that asset for anything? We could see that here in the sheet, is that even though Hildy has a $1 million home, her yearly costs are significantly higher than Broseph, who has a $20,000 home. So on Broseph's net worth sheet, he's going to be looking like he's significantly poorer than Hildy. However, Hildy is paying a lot more per year just to maintain this $1 million property. So how do we say who's the person who's the best off in this scenario? There's probably two answers to that question. The first is, if you look at Broseph, we could say that Broseph is the most well off. His house costs $700 a year, so that means that he's in the best shape in order to retire, build wealth, move forward. I don't know, whatever it is that you're looking to do. And we could say that Cookie, our goodest boy, is the worst off because his yearly costs are $375,000, which is just a mind-blowingly insane amount of money. However, the second answer to that question is, we don't actually know the answer to that question with the data presented on the page. The thing that we're missing here is what the income of each of these people are and what their passive income would be if they were to quit working. That's the thing that would change this scenario. So let's play around with that and see how that would come out. Let's say Hildy has a passive income of about $100,000 a year. Her yearly cost on this home would be $35,000. That would put her at 35% of her yearly income going towards her house. Dave Ramsey talks about keeping your home at 25% of your yearly income, and that would mean that Hildy would be technically upside down at $100,000 a year income. This home may not have been worth $1 million when she bought it, but now that she's getting closer to retirement, it's worth $1 million, and she's in a position where even with making $100,000 a year, she might not be in a great spot to retire. Let's take a look at Broseph. Broseph actually makes no money at all. He's just living out in the middle of nowhere, there are no jobs, and he's just attempting to survive, and his yearly cost is still $700. In fact, Broseph might have to sell the home and find a buddy's couch to live on because he's in a position where he can't actually afford the cost to keep this home going, even though the house is worth $20,000. And as you've guessed it, you probably figured out what I'm doing to this point, but Cookie, the goodest boy, has been investing like crazy. He owns a lot of different real estate properties, including apartment complexes, and his yearly income is at $2 million post-tax. So his $375,000 cost a year is actually close to, or just under 19% of his total overall income, making him in the best scenario currently to be financially independent and to retire. Okay, I know those scenarios were a bit contrived, and I understand that that's not how most people are. We don't have a whole bunch of cookies running around with $2 million passive income when they hit retirement, and we don't have a whole lot of Broseffs with no money in the bank who can't afford a $20,000 home. But I attempted to make 2 points with these examples, and hopefully I was able to get them across. The first point was, no matter how you cut it, your house is costing you money. This is why the major players say that your home is not an asset. Now I get it, technically your home is an asset, and you can sell it for money, which puts it in the asset category. However, effectively, it's hard to call it an asset because of the fact that it's costing you money every single year until you die. And that cost prevents it from really being something that you can calculate in terms of retirement. We've referred to before on this channel the 4% rule, otherwise known as the Trinity study. And what the 4% rule says is that you can effectively, in any time in US history, take your entire net worth and take 4% of that and withdraw that 4% annually, and that's the amount of money that you could withdraw yearly without ever having to worry about running out of money. And that even applies over time periods like the Great Depression. However, because you can't pull cash out of your house, you can't really count your house when doing the 4% rule as the Trinity study describes. So in terms of retirement, we can't really look at the asset of your home in order to determine whether or not you're ready to retire. In our case here, it turns out that the person with the biggest mortgage is actually ready to retire. Meanwhile, the person with the smallest yearly cost is in a place where he has to get rid of his property in order to survive. So for point one, it turns out that your home as an asset does not really describe your ability to retire and to be financially independent. And the second point I was trying to make was the importance of being financially independent. As it turns out, the number that we actually care about is how much your living is costing you compared to your overall income, or in retirement, your overall investment withdrawals / passive income. The lower that number is, the better off you are, and the more you're able to withstand any kind of changes in the weather or changes in the market. In the case of someone who has an expensive property and they even have a mortgage on it, if that overall cost is significantly low compared to their entire income set, then that would make them significantly more financial independent than someone who has a paid off mortgage who has a much lower passive income. Of how much you're paying for a home compared to your overall income is much more important than actually paying your home off. I know that this can get confusing. I hope this episode helps you understand how you can look at these numbers to be more effective and more intentional about what it is that you're doing with your money so that you can work towards that financial independence stage and get to a place where you are safe, secure for yourself and your family. But I know this topic is somewhat controversial, which I gotta give people credit. I can't count it as a negative thing for people being emotionally passionate about finances. I think that's outstanding. The more people we can get with hardcore opinions talking about financial stuff, I think better. We can get more people involved and more people can get into a place of being financial independent. Whether that be paying off your mortgage, that might be the correct answer, or whether that be holding on to your mortgage and increasing that passive income. That might also be your answer. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. That might help more people get more of this information and become financially passionate about these issues. And the more people we have, the better. And also, if you liked Cookie, you gotta give him a thumbs up. Smash thumbs up for Cookie, the goodest boy that's ever been. Thank you, and I hope to see you guys again soon.